Hello and welcome to the back room. My name is Ryan Abedi. I am the founder of Mysa Medical and Wellness Spa located in Dallas, Texas. What is the back room? Well, the back room is a piece of the Mysa channel that is going to be dedicated to more lifestyle, beauty, wellness, and dare I say, socioeconomic and political issues that affect how women view themselves. I created Mysa with the idea of not just being a space for women to get their facials and injectables and nails done and stuff like that. Also a space for us to feel free to discuss the things that affect us in our everyday lives. If this is the first time you're seeing me, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Feel free to like and drop comments as we're going through this video because I want this to be a conversation. So let's use the comment space as like a chat for everybody. Before we get into the tea, I think let's get into the outfit, okay? So today I am wearing a set from Keith, Kith. I'm going to tag all of my outfit links in the bio. I am wearing Cartier jewelry for the most part. I got these earrings off of Amazon and I'll leave the link in the bio as well. And my shoes are Dior. If you want to see my full outfit details, also click the Instagram link and you'll go to my Instagram page where there's a picture of this outfit today. I have been very vocal on TikTok that I think these level up gurus are nothing but grifters and scammers. And if you can think of anybody as we're talking right now, feel free to drop in the comments, okay? Hints or drop names, whatever works for you. But I have seen so many women pose as level up gurus, right? And then they put these level up advice behind a paywall. And then you're supposed to pay for this course and sign up for this course. And this lady is going to teach you how to level up your life, if you will. Now, I'm not saying everybody selling a course is some type of scammer or grifter. There are specialized skills that need to be sold as courses. When you go to college and you're paying for the semester, those are specialized courses that are being sold to you in that space to help you get a degree that's going to help you get a job, right? I personally do offer training courses for people who are seeking to open their own medical and wellness spas, kind of like how I have Mysa Medical and Wellness Spa. But that is a specialty. And there is a lot of deliberateness that goes into selling those types of courses. They are not blanketed courses. The term level up in itself is such a blanket term. It could mean any and everything at the same time. And I think they're using the vague idea behind this term to sell these courses to people who are in a vulnerable position, women especially, who are in a vulnerable position and are seeking out ways to elevate themselves, literally and figuratively lift themselves up. And they're open because of their acknowledgement of where they are at in their lives currently. They're open to being exploited by some of these scammers and grifters who sell level up courses. A lot of these scammers have one thing in common. No actual special skill to point to. These women usually don't have any career that you can point to. They have not accomplished anything that is tangible that you can see and or touch. They haven't built anything, built any businesses, produced any form of software, hardware, or tangible goods and or services that you can actually participate in or other people have participated in. So their only evidence, the only proof of success that they have is material things, right? So they're going to sit there in their beautiful bags and their beautiful shoes and their nice outfit and their nicely done hair in a high-rise apartment with glass to floor windows, ceilings, whatever the fuck. And they're going to sit there and tell you, oh, look at me, look at me. Do you want to be like me? I have a course. Click the link, buy the course. I'll help you level up. I have signed up for a few of these courses, and let me tell you, it is ChatGPT come to life. Okay, these women have used AI to create the most vague nonsense bunch of advice and package it and put it behind this paywall. And usually they're hoping that this is just so vague and so hard to implement that if you're going to come back and complain and say, you know what, this course didn't actually help me, they can turn around and blame you for not properly implementing the steps that they have outlined in this course that is basically a mumbo jumbo of ChatGPT and Pinterest images. However, I realize it is not enough to just dogpile on these scammers and grifters. I realize it is not enough to just say, hey, don't buy that course. These people are scamming you. Don't do this. Don't do that. It is not enough to just tell you what not to do. I thought it was also very important to come and give you what I believe is helpful advice when it comes to thinking about how to level up your life. We have entered the new year of 2025, and I promise you, every new year we go into, we're going to see more and more videos about how to level up your life, polish yourself, elevate your look, you name it, we're going to see all of that. However, there's that recurring theme of needing to spend money, right? You're either going to spend money to buy the course, or the person who is giving you the advice for free is only showing you things you need to buy to elevate yourself, right? Elevate your outfit, elevate your look, elevate your jewelry, elevate your hair, sign up for this, sign up for that. And I'm not saying you're not going to spend any type of money in your level up process, but I'm saying that when it comes to leveling up, or what I consider continuous growth, you need to start from within. So it doesn't matter what you purchase or don't purchase, as long as you have not looked within to grow yourself, it would not matter what you buy. So with no further ado, let's get into my 5 steps that you can use to level up your life. I don't care what stage of life you're in. These steps will always be helpful, always be useful, can always be plugged in, regardless of your goals, your lifestyle, or where you find yourself on this planet Earth. These 5 steps, I think, are crucial. And as we go through these 5 steps, I will be plugging in some personal examples from my own life to help you understand how to walk through these 5 steps, because these 5 steps are actually questions that you need to answer. So me plugging in my own personal experiences is a way of me helping you think about how to answer these questions. As we're going through, please make sure you are liking, you are commenting, you're sharing your thoughts, you're sharing this video. If it is your first time watching this video, I encourage you to watch it all the way through without making any notes or writing down anything or thinking too hard. Just really listen and save this video and come back to it anytime you need help going through these steps, because I'm going to outline them in great detail. So here is the first step. Number 1. What are your goals right now? When you're thinking about answering the question, what are your goals right now? I want you to answer these questions as though God Himself came down and told you He was going to grant you every single thing that you wrote down as your goals right now. When I had first done this 5-step / questionnaire exercise, it's something that my dad designed for me back when I had just given birth. I am a teenage mom. Well, I'm not a teenager anymore, but I had my son as a teenager. And that was very hard. It was a very difficult time. And it was showing in the way I was living that I was going through a very hard time mentally. And I think my dad was trying to find a way to help me and keep me hopeful about a future that at the time seemed very bleak. Today I'm 31, but this is something I've been doing since I was 19. And you can see how over the decade, as we go through this exercise, you will see how over the decade this has been helpful and implementable to every stage of my life. So back to question number 1. What are your goals right now? Write them down as if nothing is stopping you in this life. I want you to write your goals down as if you were guaranteed success, right? Don't limit yourself, because sometimes when we write down our goals, we're kind of like, maybe that's too much. Maybe I shouldn't think that highly of myself. Maybe I shouldn't think I'm capable of that. But no, I want you to write down your goals as though you are capable of any and everything. And another very important thing to remember as you're writing down your goals, also write down your goals as though nobody was watching you. Okay, this is something that only you is going to see. There are a lot of things that we want to achieve in our lives that are simply influenced by the other people in our lives, be it our friends, our parents, our colleagues. There are other people influencing us to want to achieve certain goals. No, these goals have to be honest and true to you. A good example is, my parents wanting me to get married. So I could go in my goals and say getting married. But is that really something I want to achieve, or is that something that I'm being influenced to want by my society, my immediate surrounding? So I want you to try to ignore the influence of your immediate surrounding, right? Ignore the fact that your friend bought a Rolls Royce and now it's one of your goals to have a Rolls Royce. Did you ever want a Rolls Royce, or were you simply influenced to want that as a personal life goal because the people around you are doing it? So as you're writing down your goals, two very important things to remember: write them down as though you can achieve anything, and secondly, write them down as though no one is going to be influencing those goals. Write them down as though you're going to achieve those goals in an island and there will be nobody to praise you, and so this is just for you. Now that we've gone through number one, we will put that whole piece of paper aside. Push that paper aside and just kind of forget about it for now, because we're going to go deep into ourselves and answer question number two. And question number two is, who are you right now? We often make the great mistake of forgetting that who we are right now is the person who is going to get us to our goals, okay? We're trying to change this person so hard that we're forgetting that it is this person who we are today, right now. This is the person we are. This is the tool we have. This is the equipment we have to get ourselves to our goals. So whether or not we are completely in love with the person we are right now doesn't really matter. The truth is, we need this person who we are right now to get to where we need to be. So we need to start by understanding who this person is, what this person is capable of, and how the person we are right now can help us get to our goals. Like I said, when I first did this exercise, I was 19. And who was I at the time? At that age, I was a teenage mother with a high school diploma. So I was a teenage mother and a high school graduate. But I also knew that I was a very intelligent girl. I was very hardworking. I was very, stubborn. So if I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it no matter what, no matter what. For better or for worse, I was very stubborn. So that is who I was. And that was very important for me to write down, because understanding and accepting who I was, and I promise you, sometimes as you write down who you are, it's going to hurt you a little bit. Because when I was writing down who I was, that was a very short list at the age of 19. It was a very short list. It was just teenage mother, high school graduate, intelligent. That's it. It hurt. Like I was actually like, oh my God, I am nothing. I am nothing. But while I understood that this is not who I want to be for the rest of my life, this, however, is who I am right now. You cannot deny who you are. Do not delude yourself, okay? Because we all package ourselves and we all sell propaganda to the world via what we post on our social media platforms and whatever outlets we have, whatever communication outlets we have. We are feeding the world propaganda of ourselves. We're telling the world what we want the world to believe of ourselves. When you're doing this exercise and answering that question number two of who you are right now, you need to be very honest about who that person is. Because like I said, you need that person to get to your goals. Now that we have done number one, what are our goals? Number two, who are we right now? Number three is kind of two questions in one. What do you have / what do you have access to? Now, this is very important because sometimes, remember though I said write your goals as though you can achieve anything. This is the question that will help us understand what is actually achievable right now for us, okay? So what do you have? Do you have money? Do you have a good job? Do you have a safe place to live? Do you have a means of transportation? Do you have childcare? Do you have other obligations, right? Do you have a sick family member that you have to take care of? What do you have? And what do you have access to? Do you have access to people who have money? Do you have access to people with contacts, with connections that you can tap into? Do you have access to people with the knowledge that you need for your future goals? Do you have access to people to talk to? Right? What do you have slash what do you have access to? Again, when I was answering this question at the time, I had absolutely nothing. But luckily for me, I had access to my amazing parents who were very helpful. I also had access to my amazing network of friends and family who were, again, very helpful. And the good thing about this network of friends and family that I had access to at the time was that they were all highly educated and really, really pushed for me to get an education, which luckily was one of my goals. So what do you have slash what do you have access to will start to help you really think about how you're going to achieve your goals. Okay? So again, we have written down what our goals are. We have asked ourselves who we are right now. We have asked ourselves what we have slash what we have access to right now. And the fourth, and if not one of the more critical questions to answer, is what do you have to sacrifice to achieve your goals? Now, this one can be a little tricky because you're examining your sacrifices as you go, right? But for the most part, we all know the things that we're doing that are kind of unnecessary. Okay, guys, let's drop some comments in the chat about some of the things that we're doing that we know are a little bit out there and unnecessary and are probably taking up some of our resources being time, money, attention, emotions, you name it. Now, what are some of the things that you have to sacrifice? Like I said, the first time I did this exercise, I had to be honest, like I would have to sacrifice a little bit of my relationship with my very young infant child. Because if I'm going to go to college, I'm not going to be able to have the traditional mother-child relationship that other mothers will be having with their children, right? So that was one very important sacrifice. I also understood that I have to sacrifice a lot of the time I spent with my friends, even my family, as I was going to be going through an accelerated university program to try to catch up, if you will, with the time I was behind on. Now, I will say, while we are in this space of you gotta do you, you gotta upgrade yourself, you gotta grow, you gotta whatever. While we're in this space of a lot of introspection and self-growth and paying attention to ourselves, it is important that you understand that the people you've built relationships with, although you might need to sacrifice on some of the time in those relationships, you have to let them know. Okay? Don't just clock out of your friends' lives and clock out of your family members' lives. No. Let them know that as it is now, as it is right now, I have this goal that I need to accomplish, right? That might stop me from coming on your birthday trip. That might stop me from attending this girls trip. That might stop me from, coming to visit family every weekend. That might stop me from flying home to see family every holiday. That might stop me from this. That might stop me from spending time here and spending time there. You have to let those people know. Don't just walk away from people because that is so mean. Because at the end of the day, when you have done what you needed to do, you're going to need your community. Okay? Even as you're doing what you need to do, you need your community. There is nothing like your friends and family understanding that, yes, while she's not with us right now, it is because she is out there getting this done. And that, in a way, is its own support. That is them sending support to you, even spiritually. Like we're with you in spirit. We know you're out there forging forward for your future. You're fighting onward for your future. And that's why you're not here with us right now. And we are with you in spirit. We're with you mentally. That's sacrificing on friends and family and all of the times we spend hanging out with people, right? But there are some sacrifices we need to be straight up, right? And do for ourselves. Maybe we shouldn't be spending $800 on our nails. Maybe we should shop less. Maybe we should spend less time on social media, or spend less time watching videos that are not really helping inspire us. Maybe we should spend less time hurting ourselves with the information we're taking in, right? Again, what do you have to sacrifice? And whether you're willing or not to sacrifice these things, you have to sacrifice them, because you only have 24 hours a day, and you only have 7 days a week. You only have 365 days a year. You only have so much time. And so you have to be very objective about what you're doing with your time, because that is one of your most valuable resources. Okay? So a little recap. What are our goals? Who are we right now? What do we have / what do we have access to? What do we have to sacrifice? And now number 5. Number 5 is very important, as this is when we tie everything together that we've been asking ourselves. And number 5 is, what are the next 2 steps you need to take? And the reason is because you can get very overwhelmed when you have this long to-do list, okay? It can be very discouraging to look at all of the things that you need to do to get from who you are now to who you want to be it tomorrow, the next 2 years, the next 5 to 10 years, whatever those goals are, okay? But the truth about goals is you have to go step by step. Again, using myself as an example, the very first time I did this exercise, while I had the goals that I had written down, I had to acknowledge to myself, yes, what are my next 2 steps? And it was very important that my dad wrote this down for me, because it was very overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming when you look at who you are now and who you're trying to be. You yourself might get discouraged. You'll be like, oh, this is too much. It's too much that I need to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know. There's so many things that I need to do. And you can start to psych yourself out of accomplishing the steps needed to get to your goal. And so it's always important to ask yourself, what are the next 2 steps I need to take? At the time I did this, again, my next 2 steps were: 1, gather all the information that I needed to apply to a university, and 2, apply and send out as many applications as I could to all of the nursing programs that were available to me. Now, obviously, you're aware that those 2 steps don't mean once you complete those 2 steps, you're not done. You are definitely not done. But you see how those are the next 2 things you need to do. So you're not overwhelmed by this long to-do list. No, you just tackle those next 2 steps. So at that time, I'm like, okay, pull together all of the information you need. You have your high school diploma. Do you need to go get some prerequisites? Can you start at a community college? What do you need to do to gather as much as you need to meet the requirements to apply to a full-on nursing program and be accepted into a nursing program? Those were my next 2 steps. And the good thing about those next 2 steps is once you accomplish them, you will feel so good about yourself, and you will be ready to start this 5-step program again. Do you see how that works? So by the time I was done applying to schools and got accepted into a university in Boston to study nursing, I was so excited, right? And throughout that process, you learn so much about yourself. As you're accomplishing those first 2 steps, you start to learn a little bit more about yourself, to the point where when you're done with those first 2 steps and you're coming back to start this whole 5-step questionnaire again, your goals might have changed a little bit, right? Who you are will definitely change a little bit. What you have and what you have access to has definitely changed after you've accomplished those first 2 steps. What you need to sacrifice now will be a little different once you've accomplished those first 2 steps. And now, again, number 5, what are the next 2 steps you need to take? And you cycle through that over and over and over again. My hope with this video is that you can see how easily implementable these 5 steps are in anybody's life despite your situation, and how it costs you $0 to listen to me talk through these 5 steps. And it will cost you $0 to come back again and go through these 5 questions, these 5 steps, and answer these questions for yourself. And look within yourself and say, okay, what do I need to do next? What is the very next step I need to take to get me just that one step closer to my goals? Like I said initially, I am worried that everything leveling up, especially when it comes to women, has a lot to do with buying. Buy this clothes, buy this outfit, buy this hair, you need this jewelry, you need this class, you need to sign up for this Pilates. There's so much buying and buying and buying. And while, yes, a lot of you leveling up involves you feeling good about yourself, right? I've said it before. I have spent money on myself, okay? At a very young age, before even finishing college, I'd already spent money on lip filler. I had spent money on a breast lift with implants. I've spent money on myself to feel good about myself, to be able to put myself out there a little more. But I don't want you to rush to start spending money to level up yourself. I want you to first take the time and go through these 5 questions and see what it is that you actually need to do with yourself for free. What do you need to do first with yourself? And then see how to implement all these other little things to your life. Of course, as I'm going through school now, I need money to pay for school, right? I need money for a car to get me there and back. I might need a job now to get money, but that is definitely one of the steps that I need. But you see how I didn't start by looking for where to go and spend money to add material things to myself that are not in any way altering the person that I am now, and are not in any way taking who I am now to who I want to be in my goals. However, all of these material things are just adding to the mask that I'm wearing over who I am now. Like, yes, who you are now may not have a Chanel bag, may not have Tiffany jewelry, may not have experienced a trip to Cabo, and who you are now may not have any of these things to show to the world outwardly that you're successful, so to speak. But if you go ahead and focus on getting those things, I hope you understand that you're simply adding to the propaganda that you're feeding to the world. And to an extent, you're almost buying into your own propaganda. You are deluding not just the world as to who you are, but you're deluding yourself as well. Again, pay very close attention to the women who purport themselves to have the leveling up secrets for you. Ask them very vital questions. Who are you? What have you done? What have you accomplished? What have you overcome? And last but not least, as you go through these 5 steps, you will make mistakes. We all make mistakes. You will make mistakes, some of them intentionally, okay? You will make some bad decisions along the way. It is important that you forgive yourself, because carrying around a cognitive load is probably the worst thing you can do to yourself. Carrying around shame and guilt will limit your abilities to be very successful in this world. I like to give an example. We all know the kept wife, or maybe we don't know her, but I'm going to attach a picture here. This lady on TikTok, right? The kept wife, whatever. And she was always had this vitriolic anger towards baby mamas, right? She just absolutely hated Black baby mamas. And there was really no justification or explanation for it. I understand, having a certain view towards women who have children outside of wedlock, but why such hate? Why such constant hate towards women who have children outside of wedlock? And then it gets revealed to the internet that she also had children outside of her current marriage where she has children. She had 2 daughters, I believe twins, in another city, and then kind of abandoned them, definitely just left them and went to another city and got married and tried to, just kind of act like that had never happened. And a part of me empathized with her because I know what it is to be a young mother kind of trapped in motherhood at a very young age and thinking, I want more for myself, I want better for myself, I want to improve on myself. And then you're just like stuck here with two babies crying, right? And so I empathize with her. But her leaving them as a means of improving on her life was definitely a mistake on her part. However, she never forgave herself for that. She was carrying around the guilt of what she did. And that regret chewed her up. The regret ate her up to where it just brought out this dark, bitter anger. And every time she saw somebody who was a baby mama like herself, that person simply reminded her of what she hated the most about herself. And so she would spill these nonsense, dark videos at any baby mama simply because she saw herself in them and she didn't like what she saw. But you see how not forgiving herself for that has put her in a position where I personally won't trust her. And I don't know who will ever platform somebody who has abandoned their children, right? And never owned up to it. There's nothing wrong with making a mistake. Again, it is owning up to it and forgiving yourself from it and allowing yourself to grow from that place. Cognitive load, that guilt that she carried, tainted everything she did. I use the example of if you go to a house party and you go to the bathroom and nobody saw you entering the bathroom, but in that bathroom you had a very dangerous number 2 incident. Okay, you had the worst explosive diarrhea of your life. Nobody saw you go in and nobody saw you come out, but you know what you did in that bathroom. Now, for the rest of the night during that party, every time somebody looks at you, you're going to be, oh my God, do they know what happened? Oh my God, do they know what happened in that bathroom? And you're walking around with that, and that is affecting every conversation you're having for the rest of that night because you are aware and you are still carrying that guilt and that shame. Versus if you had that incident in the bathroom and you came out and you went to the homeowner and said, oh my God, I had an incident in the bathroom. I need help cleaning up. Or you let people know, like, oh, don't use the bathroom right now. I had a little incident and I'm going to clean up. As soon as you get that off your chest, you don't have that guilt anymore. Yeah, some people will judge you, right? People will judge you for making that mistake. Oh my God, why would you come and do this in someone's house? Like, why would you do this? What's wrong with you? Who does that? Yeah. Some people will judge you. But there are other people who will be happy that at least you came clean and they're willing to let it go and continue having a good night, right? So whenever you make mistakes as you go through these 5 steps, remember that the most important thing is to 1, forgive yourself, 2, ask forgiveness from the people you have hurt, and 3, accept the mistakes you have made. Accept your truth so nobody uses it against you. I hope you have found this video of how to level up for free very, very helpful. Please subscribe to our channel. The Mysa Backroom has so many great topics coming your way. Our next video actually is going to be a deep dive on the BBL to Ozempic pipeline. Once again, I am Ryan. I am the founder of Mysa Medical and Wellness Spa located in Dallas, Texas. It is a joy to be on this platform with you guys. We are going to be using the shorts part of YouTube to go over some of the before and afters and procedures, services, and products that we use at Mysa Medical and Wellness Spa. But these long form videos are going to be reserved to these conversations and creating a space within the virtual Mysa space for us women to interact and help each other. Again, subscribe, like this video, share our channel, share this video with your friends, share this video with anyone who you think will find it absolutely helpful. And please remember to save this video so you can come back and go through these questions again. See you guys next time. Bye.